Good morning, my friends. This is Nancy at A Crone's Intuition. And this morning, I wanted to speak to you about simple pleasures. I planted some nasturtium seeds on my front deck. And as leggy as they are, they're starting to bloom. There aren't a lot of them, but this brings me such joy. Talking about simple pleasures. I even have a couple of potatoes going on down here. I planted some potato eyes, and some of them sprouted. And it looks like my cucumbers are doing very, very well. Bunny is protecting the cucumbers. They're flowering, so I imagine I won't have to be buying cucumbers at the store. So, this is another thing that brings me joy. The morning sun. Just the beauty of a summer day before it gets so hot and oppressive. And this time of the morning, I think all the mosquitoes are taking a little nap from their attacks at everyone during the night. And I sit and I watch people going by. We live on a busy road. I guess if I could change one thing, I would like to be on a quiet country road. But this is my space, and I'm very thankful for it. I just thought I would share this with you this morning. Just, simple pleasures. I think I'm going to go inside and attach another video to this one about another wonderful, wonderful pleasure that I have in my life. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, here I am. I'm back. First thing in the morning, I had to make me I made mushroom coffee, and I made a latte out of it, and I'm going to enjoy my very first sip. Maybe it will wake me up a little more. Oh, that's lovely. I'm liking that mushroom coffee, The bane of my existence is my hair. It has a mind of its own. And when I'm growing it out, we have a lot of discussions. But that's okay. It's growing. I guess I need to talk to it and tell it how much I appreciate it, but sometimes I just would like to pull it out, But anyhow, favorite things. One of my least favorite things is my hair growing out, because it's an ordeal. What was I thinking when I shaved my head? My hair was, I don't know, almost halfway down my back. And I shaved it all off. So I've done that several times. Most of the time, it's been to support friends who are battling cancer. But this time, I just got this wild hair and came out of the bathroom, and my husband said, "Oh, we're doing that again, huh?" So what can I say? But anyhow, I found, I have this thing about dragonflies. I have such a spiritual connection to them. And when I see one, it is a true blessing. But I found this, and it says, "I am always with you." Isn't that beautiful? And when I look at this, I think of my husband. And it makes me very happy. It makes me very happy because the dragonfly signifies transformation, transition. And to me, it's a very spiritual thing. But having said that, I am going to go off on a completely different tangent. Tangent's a good word. I am a collector. I collect tarot cards and oracle cards, and I collect antique books. I collect crystals. I have so many books. Oh, I should share some of my beautiful books with you because they are truly gorgeous. But anyhow, when I was like maybe, I don't know, maybe 13 or 14, my aunt Hilda took me, when we were visiting in Georgia, she took me to a little bookshop called Noah's Ark in, it was in a little town in South Carolina. It wasn't very far from Augusta, Georgia. But anyway, at that time, it was in this old little house that was in the town. And when you walked in, it was like another world. You know, there was the smell of all of these old books. And I was enchanted. And we spent several hours just poring over books and finding books. And, you know, like some of them were like 95 cents or $2 or 50 cents for these beautiful old books. And so I found some treasures. Well, to me, they were treasures. One of them was this book, Evangeline. Now, this was written by Longfellow, and here's a picture of him. And when I went to Maine with my daughter, we drove and we ended up in Portland, and we were, you know, taking in the sights. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And we found this lighthouse, and we walked in. I mean, it was a steep bank, and you looked over, you know, into the ocean, and then here was this glorious lighthouse, you know. And right there by the walkway was a bench, and it was called Longfellow's Bench. And he used to sit there and watch the waves and the lighthouse and everything. And so it kind of gave me more of a connection with him, you know. My crystal skull is moss agate. I named her Evangeline because, you know, the story, I love the way the story starts. And I mean, I've read it many times, but let me just read the very first part of it, okay? This is the forest primeval, the murmuring pines and the hemlocks, bearded with moss and in garments green, indistinct in the twilight, stand like druids of eld with voices sad and prophetic. Stand like harpers hoar with beards that rest on their bosoms, loud from its rocky caverns, the deep-voiced neighboring ocean speaks, and in accents desolate answers the wail of the forest. I mean, come on. All right. Then I have found this treasure, and it, you know, when you get an antique book, the remarkable thing is that they are still together, sort of. And these are collected selection of his poems. And one of them, let me see if I can find it. Well, it's the last one in the book. And what I love about this is when I read it, I can see it. And this is a beautiful, beautiful poem. If you're a parent or an aunt or an uncle, you know, or a grandparent. And it's called The Children's Hour. Between the dark and the daylight, when the night is beginning to lower, comes a pause in the day's occupation that is known as the children's hour. I hear in the chamber above me the patter of little feet, the sound of a door that is opened, and voices soft and sweet. From my study I see in the lamplight descending the broad hall stair, grave Alice, and laughing Allegra, and Edith with golden hair. A whisper and then a silence, yet I know by their merry eyes they are plotting and planning together to take me by surprise. A sudden rush from the stairway, a sudden raid from the hall. By 3 doors left unguarded, they enter my castle wall. They climb up into my turret, or the arms and back of my chair. If I try to escape, they surround me. They seem to be everywhere. They almost devour me with kisses, their arms about me entwine, till I think of the Bishop of Bingen in the Mouse Tower on the Rhine. Do you think, O blue-eyed bandita, because you have scaled the wall, such an old mustache as I am is not a match for you all? I have you fast in my fortress, and I will not let you depart, but put you down into the dungeons in the round tower of my heart. And there I will keep you forever, yes, forever and a day, till the walls shall crumble in ruin and molder in dust away. Excuse me. Isn't that beautiful? And I found this one, Adopting an Abandoned Farm. I mean, and this was published in 1892. I mean, it's very, very old, but it's the story of this woman who found an abandoned farm and bought it, you know, very, very cheaply, and, you know, turned it into a glorious place with flowers and gardens, and oh, just wonderful. Another one that I love is the by let's see, this was $1, and it's by Sir Walter Scott, and it's The Lady of the Lake. Isn't that beautiful? And then this one, look at the cover of this one. Isn't that gorgeous? And it just fits in your hand, and it feels so good. And this book belonged to Olive Bunting Ludlington. Somebody has written this in front of the book, and she lived from 1875 to 1981. And this is Selected Poems of Byron. Love Lord Byron. So this book does not have when it was published, but it's very, oh, wait a minute, it's very, very old. Printed in Great Britain by the Riverside Press Limited, Edinburgh. This one is another Byron's poems. I love Byron. Look at that book. Isn't it gorgeous? It's leather, you know, and it has all this beautiful, beautiful imagery on the front. And I'm not sure how old this one is, but I've had it a long time, so it's old. But let's see. Oh, here we go. 1895, I found it. Sometimes you just don't see them, you know. And here is William Cullen Bryant. And, you know, back then, those old men, they had long hair and long beards, didn't they? One of my precious finds that I found was The Imitation of Christ. And this book is very, very old. And I mean, it's falling apart. I have to do some repair on it. But it is a beautiful devotion book. And, well, you can just see how old it is. It's coming apart. And I need to get out my book repair things and get to work. This book is the same. It is a book called Lalla Rookh, R-O-O-K-H, by Sir Thomas More. And it's a beautiful leather. But, you know, it's very old. But, you know, sometimes you don't throw things away because they're old, you know. They just become more precious. We just have to take care of them. The final one is this precious book. Let me see if I can find what I was going to... is this book. It is called Down in a Garden, Olden, Just Where I Do Not Know, Buttercup, All Golden, Change Near a Rose to Grow. Little Folk Lyrics by Frank Dempster Sherman. Isn't it precious? And look at the spine there. And this is a book for children. Here's the picture on the inside of it. Isn't that beautiful? This book is $18.92. Just looking through it. Let's see. Look at this one. I think I'm going to read this one. This is a little poem. It's not, this one probably won't make me cry. It's called Daisies. At evening when I go to bed, I see the stars shine overhead. They are little daisies in white that dot the meadow of the night. And often while I'm dreaming so, across the sky the moon will go. It is a lady sweet and fair who comes to gather daisies there. For when at morning I arise, there's not a star left in the skies. She's picked them all and dropped them down into the meadows of the town. Isn't that beautiful? So this was nothing to do with tarot, nothing to do with crystals, but I have them all around me. And I have my antique books, my special things. And I just wanted to share some of my special things with you this morning. Going out on the deck and greeting the new day. I just wanted to share that with you, my friends. This is Nancy at A Crone's Intuition, wishing you many, many blessings. Namaste, my friends.